parts that don't work, start figuring out how to make those parts work. Because once a Democrat is in the White House, their first imperative is going to be to replace this disaster of a health care plan.
I think my question, though, I just want to clear this one thing up. My question is more, is it set up that way so that supposedly we get a Democrat in the White House, and then Trump care kicks in, and the Democrat gets blamed when everybody
exactly
starts dying from the Republican plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, but
I just wanted to make sure it was that.
We should be going after the insurance companies who are raising these premiums. They are. I mean, you can't keep telling me that. I know the insurance companies are behind the fact that Obamacare does not work because they want to keep raising it. They were raising their premiums before Obamacare came in. They have never tried to work with the American public to bring them a better plan for them. And that's where we suffer. We suffer because these companies, they keep saying, the premiums are going up. They've always went up.
Well, you know what? You know what might be able to help keep that in check? I don't know, regulations. Can't have those.
How about single payer?
That might work.
Really, that's the only way to get this. The system
but they're
out
trying
of
to
the
do that here in California.
Lobbyists.
Everyone's going, we don't want any socialism. Everything's that. Why can't the question will always be we can't have good medical. We're supposed to be a superpower. We're supposed to be this country that has all the best and everything, but we can't have good medical.
Worst in medical, worst in education. I think
maybe we should replace e pluribus unum on all our coinage and signage with caveat emptor.
Yeah.
Or America. This is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
You've seen the signs. I think it's real that says "Government hands off my Medicaid." I also think at like a very base level, there are so many people out there who don't understand. Because and this is a complicated issue, but you've got Trump out there, and his talking point now is Obamacare is dead. It's already dead. It's failed. And I'm afraid that there are so many people sort of susceptible to that.
It's such a Monty Python, it's Obamacare is dead and Obamacare is not dead yet.
Right.
But it's amazing how he weaves, it's just like the whole tape thing, he just weaves his way. He could say whatever he wants.
Well, and people believe it. That's the astonishing thing. And that, one of the stories that came out this week was 7% of adult Americans believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. Well, no wonder healthcare is beyond their comprehension. That Obamacare, we got to get rid of Obamacare, but keep the ACA. Same thing, dumbass. Government, keep your hands off my Medicare. Stupid. Chocolate milk.
This is
brown
the dumbing
cows.
down of America.
Idiots.
And I know I haven't flogged this horse since probably last fall, but it's up. This is what we get for this education. So we have. America is willfully stupid at this point. And stupidity is a badge of honor. Mm-hmm. It's being seen. The anti-intellectualism. This is what we get. Does chocolate milk come from brown cows? And is Trump is? I don't care that Trump is going to take away my health care. I'm just going to identify with him because he's the conservative candidate. Or conservative is the wrong word, but this is what we're left with. We're sick and we're stupid. Well,
and speaking of anti-intellectualism, was it last week that the New York Public Theater doing Shakespeare in the Park? Still this week, theaters around the country with Shakespeare in their name or who are doing other Shakespeare plays are getting angry, threatening calls.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm dead serious.
Oh, my God.
There was a story one Shakespeare troupe in Chicago who's currently putting on, Romeo and Juliet or something else has gotten something like 50 threats, horrible threats, to
so now Shakespeare should be illegal?
Yeah, that's
because one person put Lear in a suit and a red tie?
It was Caesar, not Lear, but
Oh, right, Caesar.
you know,
Sorry, yes, right.
But and one of the things, what was it? 8 years ago, similar production with a Caesar was portrayed by a svelte black man,
Right.
and.
Two thumbs up for that.
Yeah, I think it was. I believe it was. I was reading a review. I think it was in like National Review or one of the big conservative rags. Reading their review of that production, praising the insightfulness, and these.
Tymon, I didn't know you did Shakespeare.
Hey, we just learned last week that he had done modeling.
By the way, Tymon Shipp is a svelte black man. For you listeners at home.
I heard a Trump supporter saying Caesar shouldn't be portrayed as this Trump figure. He should just do it the way Shakespeare intended and say pizza, pizza. So that's not true. That's stupid.
It's a horrible play. They don't even get into when he invents the salad. It's just it's ridiculous. It's liberal historical revisionism at its worst.
Oh my God! But I love anchovies.
There's a video of this woman jumping up on stage to disrupt the play. Did you see that?
I didn't, but do go on.
It's just gross. I mean, she's just sort of screaming, "You're all supporting liberal terrorism," and then they escort her off the stage, and then the guy who's filming it jumps up and starts screaming basically the same thing. But what's funny is there was actually a financial reward for them to do this because someone offered to pay.
So wait, they were paid
protesters.
Paid protesters?
Exactly.
Oh my Lord.
The hypocrisy is pretty amazing.
So odd. Well, I mentioned earlier that I wanted to bitch about Democrats, and I think we've done that a little bit. But one of the big stories in the news this week was the runoff election in Georgia between Handel and Ossoff.
Not Bernie being after Bernie for fraud.
Well, that
Yeah, I've only that one just came over my transom a little earlier today, and I don't know anything about it. But let's just talk about Ossoff because I just want to say people are so. We did really well, given the givens.
But we didn't win.
No, we didn't win.
I understand.
But that's a red fucking state.
Yeah.
We were never supposed to have an election. It's a red state. Come on.
But okay, fine. We did better than expected, but we didn't win. And hand grenades and horseshoes. It's Democrats need to win stuff.
Of course we do, but for God's sakes, it's a red state.
Yeah,
they had more voters than we did.
Okay, I am saying a gold star and a good job sticker, definitely appropriate. Parades in the streets, excitement. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. This, it is just so upsetting that after the last election, that Democrats are still believing in sure things. How many times does the tortoise have to beat the hare? And by tortoise, of course, I am referring to Mitch McConnell. But how many times do we have to get the same lesson, but instead of learning from it, saying, hey, all right, well, we ran the race too. The fucking Trump kin can go fuck themselves till the cows come home and find jobs in Indiana, which are moving to New York. Of course, the chocolate cows.
Okay.
We are liberals. We don't care about the good spotted cows. It's the chocolate cows that we're concerned with. But Donald Trump Jr. put the words together, basically, calling the Democratic performance in the Georgia runoff the most expensive participation trophy in the world, which I thought was Melania. But it's one of those things when you see the Democrats getting all happy and excited about it, you almost have to go, all right, fuck, was Donald Trump Jr. close to right?
Right.
The
thing that scares me is that this is the most heated. I feel like it's only going to be downhill from here, because now people are activated and agitated and involved and upset, and I feel that we're starting to see that slide into like complacency. And if they can't win during this most fired up time, what's it going to be like in 2 years when everyone's just kind of accepted,
We're fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, and earlier this week, and this is kind of one of my, sort of, not to keep proving my point, but the Supreme Court decided this week that they will hear a case about gerrymandering, political gerrymandering in Wisconsin. Gary?
Mr. Mandering to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, all the Mandering family.
He played the beaver, I believe.
Oh, and he played it well. Wait, no, we're not talking about the same thing. Jerry Mathers. But people. The Washington Post was running editorials and articles about the Supreme Court agreeing to hear this case is a victory for the Democrats. No, it's not a victory. It is something that could lead to a victory, and not just for the Democrats, but for the American people. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
This is, hooray. This is step one. It's like if when I was a kid, building plastic models, model cars, model planes, that was the big thing. When you open the box and take out all the plastic pieces with like the frame with all the plastic parts of the model all still in it, don't congratulate yourself. You just opened the box and took the shit out. Yes, if you play your cards right, don't get too wrapped up in the glue. It could become a model airplane later. But you know what? It's not a model airplane yet.
Trump gets to load up the court either, know, and we got another justice who might be retiring on Monday. Mm-hmm. So, we're
it's like nothing is done until it's done. And yes, it's good that we're doing better than expected in certain races in traditionally red states and red districts. Mm-hmm. But until we win it, it's not a fucking victory.
Nope.
Back off, nose to the grindstone, back to work. Make it happen.
Sure.
Agreed.
We all agree. Thank you, everybody. Our liberal Democratic panel is in complete agreement.
Well, that's all we have to know.
Hey, just for you listeners at home, in case you're wondering, there is actually a tree being felled outside the window of our studio as we pod here.
Well, I was going to wait until the end of the show to introduce our special guest for the week, Manny the gardener.
Manny the gardener. No, I actually watched the tree come down in that last segment. And
it's been quite fascinating.
It's very exciting.
And I was ready to blame it all on the leaf blowers.
Yeah, that's how it always is.
As we are wont to do,
God damn.
So as long as we're talking about the wrong people getting the blame, or some people not getting the blame at all, one of the things we were discussing before the show,
good segue,
was that even though we talked a little bit about the cop who shot Philando Castile last week, 2 more police were basically exonerated. Although, mistrial, so it could go back to trial. But in Ohio, this was the second trial of this police officer, also ended in a mistrial. We seem to have a problem, with black people getting shot by police and the police getting a pass. One of the things that Tymon brought up last week on the show when we were talking about the Philando Castile incident was that Philando Castile was reaching for his wallet, informed the police officer that he was in legal possession of a firearm and got shot for that. And the NRA, who usually is the first one you're going to hear from when a legal gun owner gets shot by the fascist police. Tymon informed me last week, and I'm sure some of our listeners, that the NRA was formed so that African Americans, that black people could have the right to carry guns and protect themselves
against
from
the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah. So, as Trevor Noah noted this week,